All right, so we're about to do our raise your hand poll. I believe this will be. Is this the first one for you, Abby and Mo?
Nah, I've done.
You've done
a couple.
You, Rook?
I have never done it before.
Okay, you want to explain how we do this, Kristen?
So Bert has a list of questions. He's going to ask all of us. We're not going to answer them vocally. We're going to raise our hands. And I know what you're thinking because you have a really high radio IQ. You're like, that sounds stupid because we're on the radio. So how are people going to know who's raising their hand?
That's awfully judgy of you to think that.
I wasn't thinking it.
So we're going to raise our hands, and then it's up to the listeners. They're going to hear this segment, and it's up to them to go check out the video to see who raised their hands. After we let the video breathe, we will come back on and address whatever questions we need to, depending who raised their hand.
Okay.
All right, so I do say how many hands went up, but
Correct.
that's about it. Okay?
That's it. Mhm.
All right. You understand the rules of engagement.
I'll pick up quickly.
Raise your hand if you have ever stolen anything from a family member. Family member. Three of the four have their hands up. They have stolen from a family member. Raise your hand if you've had a one-night stand. One-night stand. Two have raised their hands. Raise your hands or hand if you've gone more than 2 months without sex this year. 2 months without sex this year. Kristen, did you hear the question?
I did not.
The question is, raise your hand if you've gone more than 2 months without sex this year.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm over here like loser.
I was trying to talk to Tommy, but I don't think he could hear me.
Yeah.
The fact he knew you didn't hear the
That's why-
question. It's hilarious.
Just wonder if she's being honest or not. That's all. Okay. Two, by the way, raise their hands for that one. Raise your hand if you are feeling financially insecure right now. We all rich.
I don't know if I'll go that far.
No hands raised. Okay. Raise your hand if you have jealous feelings towards anybody on The Bert Show. One person raising their hands. Okay. Raise your hand if you've ever had feelings for a friend's significant other. Ever had feelings for a friend's significant other. One has raised their hand. Raise your hand if you've auditioned for a reality TV show. Two hands raised.
Excuse me.
That was Kristen.
Chase like trace minerals.
Raise your hand if you've ever been in a life-threatening situation. Life-threatening situation. Everybody. Okay? Those will be fun stories. Raise your hand if you've ever been caught watching porn. Caught watching
Oh, I was
porn.
just listening. I was just nodding.
One. I can't wait to hear this story, man. Raise your hand if someone on staff shared a secret with you and asked you not to share.
You can't.
Three? Oh. And what was yours? If you've ever run away from the cops?
Yeah.
Have you ever run away from the cops? Raise your hand if you've ever run away from cops. Three of the four of us. One's obvious. Raise your hand if you thought about another person while you were having sex. Raise your hands if you ever thought about another person while you're having sex.
So obviously not the person that you're sleeping with.
Right. One person, raise their hand. Raise your hand if you have slept with a friend's ex. Two valueless people have raised their hands. Raise your hand if you like the smell of your farts. If you like the smell of your farts. Just one.
Just one. Interesting.
Just one. It wouldn't look, the day matters. Which day matters? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Raise your hand if you want someone from the show fired.
Hey, yo.
I'm guessing Tommy wrote a couple of these. If you want someone from the show fired, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have ever been jealous of a friend or someone you work with. Jealous of a friend or someone you work with. 2 right now have raised their hands. I want to. I just can't remember. I'm sure it's happened. I just can't remember anything. 2. Raise your hand if you have ever vomited on someone or in a public setting. 1, 2, 3. All of us. Raise your hand if you have ever started a rumor about someone you knew wasn't true. Oh, that's good. That is really good. Okay.
Why don't we do the reverse? It's probably not on there, but ask if anybody's ever started a rumor about you that's not true.
Has anybody started a rumor about you that is not true? All of us have both hands up. We have also taken our shoes off and our socks. Right. Raise your hand if you have ever attacked someone or defended yourself online from a burner account. From a burner account. Okay? And raise your hand if you have ever used someone to get out of a sexual slump.
Ew.
Look, I'm sure I've been used too. So I don't feel so bad about it.
That one might be obvious too.
You think?
All right, so the video is up right now, and you can see who raised their hands for which one of these questions. And then with the more intriguing ones, we will come back and we'll have some splaining to do, okay? You can find the video at thebertshow.com.
The Bert Show.